From the balmy shores of sunny Florida to the cold winds of Chicago and everywhere in between, you're watching the Red Wimet Show, live, coast to coast. Talk of the town, Mr. Red Wimet.
Hello, folks. Today is September 29th, 2025, and I am Red Wimet. How you doing? Hi, Christina. You're always here. Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate it. So today I thought we'd tackle a subject that is different. This particular guy is kind of a difficult person. His name is Ryan Routh. Some people say Ross, some people say Routh. He's a very interesting individual, in my opinion. There's a lot of things about him. He's the individual who decided that he was going to try and assassinate Donald Trump. And didn't work out too well for him. He was living out in Kauai, although he's not from there. That's my dog making that noise. But anyway, he's from North Carolina, Greensboro. Quite a character, really quite a character. So, what happened is, it's not funny, but it is a comedy of errors. I would say a comedy of errors. This character goes on to Donald Trump's golf course and lays low. And then at about 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning, he plants himself up by the fence where he can see into the golf course. Now, if anybody's ever been in Palm Beach County and they know that geographic area, they know people there. They get up very early. Everybody's outdoorsy kind of people. Nobody really stays in the house. So when this actually happened, there were all kinds of people standing around. I don't know where this guy gets the idea that this was going to be a success, but he's not too bright. Anywho, he's laying there in wait for Donald Trump. And Donald Trump is just one hole away from his hole on the golf course. And one of the Secret Service agents just happened to see a rifle with some bushes on the other side of the fence, but the rifle is coming through a chain link fence. So what do? I think they wanted quick action, so they fired a couple rounds at the dirt by the fence. What did Ryan do? Well, he picked up and he ran. He got up, left the rifle, left his lunch, everything there. He takes off and he runs. He forgot one thing. He forgot a lot of things. But one thing that was very kind of important was that when he was running, everybody was looking at him. There was like 8 or 9 witnesses that saw him running. So one of the witnesses takes a video of him running and also catches the plate on his pickup truck. After he does that, he calls the police, 911. They put him right through the Trump's detail, and they also put on all points on the vehicle. And within minutes, the detail was over there. They took the evidence up and everything else. And P.B.S.O is really good about this sort of thing. They're really very special about it. And also, they were working on his detail also, because he lives in Palm Beach County. So it wasn't maybe, I don't know, 35, 45 minutes later, and he was stopped on a road that I used to travel on quite a bit. And I think I have a picture of it. There it is. He was pulled over on the side of the road there. And this is in Martin County. He made it one county away. Martin County's not that far. But that's his black vehicle up there. And he's surrounded. And they arrested him right there. I thought it was kind of odd. He sure didn't make it far. Let me tell you. He just didn't make it far at all. But I don't even know why the sense of running, why he did. Didn't make sense to me. I get a lot of things don't make sense to me. Oh. So Ryan escapes temporarily, but this last week he was on trial, and his children were there. And I don't know why he was on trial. He just should have gone and plead guilty. He had no chance of winning. And I would say the death penalty is coming to him one way or the other. They haven't, I don't think they've finished sentencing yet. But in the meanwhile, his daughter was there, and with some very select vulgar words, she said that he was railroaded by the prosecutor. Scott H., these were cops from Mar-a-Lago. They worked with him. They worked with the other girl. You just can't do that. But anyway, they're on the golf course. So Scott H. says, I think he gets sentenced in December. Yeah, it came as a big surprise to him that he was found guilty. And as I looked at it, yes, Rico, that's who we're talking about. That's the one. There were so many witnesses that I look at it and say, he's really, he's just not too bright. But anyway, what as it goes on, what happened with him was they had the weapon, they had the fingerprints, they had an eyewitness. Actually, on it, the eyewitness was driven to the location that I just showed you. Let me go back and put it up there for you. The eyewitness was driven to this location and actually shown him at this location. And while that was done, I'm trying to get another view for you here. The ID was made. It was a positive ID. So it wasn't like they took him and put him in front of a lineup or anything like that. It was actually just a one-on-one ID with the police officers there. That's all. I thought it was a very good ID. When the police pull up and say, "Oh, is that the guy?" it's kind of difficult to say that it wasn't a positive ID. So, as it was, it is. It just is. I got a kick out of it because I'm from the area. I lived there a long time, so I know what it's like. You can't really. Scott H has got a. I don't know why you did that, Scott. I stopped in front of Mar-a-Lago to take a picture the day after the election, and a cop was on me by minutes. He checked the Secret Service, ran my information, and chewed me out and let me go. That's what they're supposed to do, Scott. But it's been like that for a long time. I mean, when I lived there, I used to go to Mar-a-Lago. And when I lived there, it was, he had high security there, very high security. And I guess you might say that P.B.S.O. or Palm Beach County Sheriff's Department has been catering to him for many, many years. Although he has had his own private security, now he's got Secret Service. He's got everybody. I mean, it's just, he'd be impossible to touch, much less hurt. He's got too many people around him. And since you saw the place, Scott, Mar-a-Lago, it's a fortress. I mean, several people have tried to go on the property, have gone on the property, but that's all they've done. They haven't done anything. Yes, he is not too bright. Jim Magnifici. Okay. They have your name. And we're going to play some back and forth. It's massive. Your list. Okay. Anywho. So it was a bad verdict in court. I mean, his children were upset, and he was totally upset. He just thought it was the worst thing that could ever happen. I don't know where he thought he could get away with this, where he was going to get a reasonable doubt or anything, but he didn't. And they found him guilty. Now, this story is kind of twisted up to this point, but it even gets more twisted. It gets worse. His children get up and leave the courtroom. And his daughter goes outside and she's interviewed by several people. His son stays away from the cameras. He doesn't want any part of it. Yeah, that's the part I'm bringing up to you. There is no visuals of it except photographs. There are photographs, which I will show you. A photograph, anyway. That is a courtroom photograph of the stabbing. And his attorney is trying to get his hand. He has a knife and he's stabbing himself in the neck. Kind of like a casino thing. He's trying to harm himself in the courtroom with everybody watching. Nice audience. His lawyer was trying to save his life. I believe there's a date on there too, if I'm not mistaken. At any rate, he failed, obviously. And when he failed, it was, I don't know, his children were disappointed that he failed. Thank you, Anthony. Thank you. I really appreciate it. He's probably headed for Florence Supermax. I don't think so. I don't think he'll go there. He's not what you call a high security risk person. I don't think he'll live very long just in a regular federal penitentiary. However, there was some talk back and forth before he was even tried because Florida, Palm Beach County, wanted to try him and give him the death penalty. And Pam Bondi said the government was in a better position to do that. So it would be on the penalty phase of this trial, which is in December. Dave, I don't know that he did. I don't know that he did. Why don't I take a look at that? He's kind of a strange person living in Kauai. He made claims that he fought in Ukraine. He never did. That was, you probably got the same or some baloney. Most of the people said he wasn't ideal. They put it very politely. They said he wasn't an ideal candidate for battle. And I can understand that now. Some people viewed him as a threat to others, a ticking bomb. Homeland Security, they weren't too thrilled with this guy. He was on the radar way before he got there. But evidently, he was just a weird person, which we have a lot of them in this country. Didn't he request both a putting green strippers? I don't know what you're talking about, Ryan. You might have heard it, but according to the facts, it doesn't say it. Doesn't say he was in the Ukraine. He exchanged messages on a WhatsApp, but he really he also claimed that he was at a protest outside Zelensky's home, and he was jailed for that. Just a colorful individual, I would say. Very colorful. I would say a weirdo. 1000%. A very strange individual. So, where will he go? I don't know. When Marshall Cafano was arrested in Palm Beach County, they went to Gun Club Road to the Palm Beach County Jail. The federal government leases, I think it's a dozen spots upstairs on the 12th floor there in the jail. and they're part of the. It's very high security. I mean, you're up on the 12th floor. You're not going anywhere. The windows are very small. They're only maybe 8 inches wide at the most, and they really don't open that far. If you can get to them, there's not one in your cells, that's for sure. But I took a tour of that jail twice, and that floor was restricted, totally restricted. The 6th floor was kind of open bay and very different. I was there. They also had an attorney, a client room there also. Well, who's going to argue with Grok? Grok never makes a mistake. Going to have to tell Adam about this. Grok says he went to the Ukraine in 2022 and was jailed for a protest in Kiev. He was jailed, but according to Wikipedia, he was jailed, and when he was jailed, it was a strange thing because it was over a protest, and that's what everybody says. Wikipedia, all your news articles, of course. I don't know. Grok may be smarter than all of them. Sometimes Adam thinks he is, but although he was laughing, very funny thing, folks. Sidetrack. Last night, Adam was talking to Grok, and Grok says, "I don't know anybody by that name." And what they did was there was a merge, and Grok says he's not Grok anymore. He says he's something else from someplace else. Adam got in a fight with the computer when I was on the phone about. He was talking to Grok. Rex, I'm sorry, he's not here right now. He's no longer with us. We're with, and then I guess the company was bought out within the last couple of days here. But it was interesting the way they had to fight. Does Zelensky have a home in Florida? Not that I know of. Not that I know of. Yes, it says there's a great deal about the protests they took, but it wasn't in. He wasn't overseas when he did the protest, and he was jailed. So, actually, the FBI had a file on him, and he's been, detained by the FBI before. So, to have this happen was not exactly a good thing. But it did happen. And because it did happen, he is where he is, and he's going someplace different. My personal belief is that they will probably give him the death penalty. I really believe. I believe they will do that. We went through all kinds of goofy things with Brock last night, and he wouldn't count to 100. So I don't think he's going to count to 1,000,000. And he doesn't give any opinions. But it's his voice. But he said, if you want to use my real voice, I'll change it for you. I don't know what's going on in Las Vegas, but Adam's upset over his rock. Ryan Brown. Didn't Ryan Routh's daughter freak out? Yes. I believe I said she used colorful language. But even outside she did. She said the trial was rigged. And she said a lot of things. She even talked to the she was able to talk to the news media outside, and I watched the live interviews when they were done. And her mouth was, she was. I believe she was asked to leave the courtroom, but we didn't know about this till after her interviews when she came down the front steps. She didn't know about her father, or her dad, as she called him, stabbing himself in the neck with a pen. which I don't know how anybody does that to themselves. I don't know anybody that can do that. Just think about it. If you're going to slap yourself in the neck with a pen, that's one thing. But think about actually stabbing yourself with an object in the neck. And it doesn't make any sense. I can't do it. I mean, I could stab myself in the leg, in the arm, something like that. I don't think I could stab myself, maybe in the throat, but not around the side of the neck. I don't think I could do that. Maybe some of you can. But it is what it is. So he went to the hospital, and he didn't need that much care. His lawyer helped him from doing any damage, which I don't think he's grateful for. I think they're going to have to find another lawyer for his sentencing also. I don't think the guy wants to stay on the job. I don't blame him, really. That's the epitome of your client saying you didn't do a good job, is when they come back with the verdict from the jury and you try to stab yourself in the neck with a pen. That would kind of indicate he was unhappy with his attorney's performance to a certain degree, to me. But then again, who am I? So when he does come back in December for his sentencing, wherever he goes, I mean, he could go to Leavenworth. He could go to Butler. I believe Butler would be a good place for him to start because they have plenty of psych there. It's a medical prison. And they could find out. I believe that I'm kind of goofy about certain things like this. To me, this thing reeks of being mentally incapable. It really does. But yet, they aren't saying that he's mentally challenged or that he has some disabilities, which I believe he does. It's called try him, convict him, and do what you have to with him. And I believe it's going to work out in a very negative way for him. It has already, but it could get a lot worse. And again, I don't know which is worse. Serving the rest of your life in prison or being executed. Jim Magnifici. He should have had an auto pen. I love it, Jim. I love it, guy. He should have had an auto pen. And Scott, give it the old college try. I would try. Well, he tried, and his lawyer kind of stopped him from the photographs I saw. And not much is, it's not really talked about. It's more sensational that he was convicted and that he is the man that attempted to assassinate Donald Trump. So, looking at the golf course, looking at what he did, and looking where he came from. I don't know if you've ever been out to Kauai, but Kauai is an island. It's one of the Hawaiian islands, and it's kind of nice, but it's really desolate out there. I mean, there's nothing there. Coming back to the traffic here in the United States and getting to Florida, and especially down there, there's a lot of traffic. And he thought that he was going to get around it, and it didn't happen. So in the future, nobody's really saying where he's going right now. They haven't really got around it. But as I'm reading away here, folks, on September 12th, merely 3 days before the assassination attempt, Uh, Routh exchanged messages with British trained commandos from Afghanistan and on his WhatsApp. And he actually talked about what he was doing. According to this, at 1:59 on September 15th, 2024, he took a position on Trump's golf course. He was later spotted by an agent at 1:31, and the agent fired at Routh, who dropped his weapon and fled to a nearby vehicle. After the shot was fired, Trump was escorted. They didn't cover him or anything. They just escorted him off the golf course by his protective detail. Routh was arrested on Interstate 95. He jumped on 95, and he made it up to Martin County and later charged with 2 offenses. Possession of firearm, but a convicted felon. There's another one, folks. What is a convicted felon doing with a firearm? And the other one was possession of a firearm with the serial number removed. The number was taken off. The day of his arraignment, he was seen smiling and laughing with his lawyer. He thought he was going to be released, and then the charges were brought against him for the assassination attempt. They added fleeing the scene. I kind of think they landed everything on there, and also he was involved in a traffic closure, which resulted in the crash that injured a 6-year-old girl who was traveling with her family. So I think that's all the police that were there. He did make a statement, which another thing is foolish. You ever hear that thing? You have the right to remain silent. This guy was not very clever. He said, this was an assassination attempt on Donald Trump, but I failed you, talking to the public. Wow. By the way, has anybody got $150,000? I'll give you $150,000. Whomever can complete the job. Now, that's kind of rough. On the same day, FBI agents found documents containing handwritten lists of venues where Trump had appeared and where he was going. It's a sad thing, folks. But he had a stolen Ford 150 pickup truck, 2012. He pleaded not guilty on September 30th. That's why he had the trial. He was also previously arrested for child pornography. I just found this out, folks. I didn't know. I'm reading. I can't believe this. He got 7 years in prison and 5 years of supervised probation. Wow. This guy is a character, a real character. P.B.S.O is like really good. Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office, they are really meticulous at whatever they do. They have been way before them. But they requested that his trial be rescheduled in 2025, but it wasn't granted. Judge said, go ahead with it. Let's do it now. Very strange. Very, very strange, folks. Scott, I don't like Hawaii either. I was on the Big Island. I went out there and I was on Hawaii, the major island. And I had friends that lived in Hilo. and the volcano was on the Big Island, was active when I was there. There was lava going everywhere. Yeah, I don't think he's going to have. Not going to have very big survival chance with child pornography on his record. Maybe that's why he was stabbing himself in the neck with the pen. He kind of believes that things are going to get rougher than they really are for him, which by most standards are a little bit inconceivable, but they can. Things can always get worse. Anyway, getting back to Hawaii, I didn't like it. When I was out there, every time I talked to a native Hawaiian that lived there, they were usually Japanese people. But they always told me when I asked them, I said, "Where's that guy going? To the ocean. Where's that guy going? To the ocean." When they don't know and they see somebody driving fast, they just say they're going to the ocean because you're surrounded by ocean. The other thing I didn't like about it, Scott, was if you had any medical problems, you really had to get to Honolulu because they had like a clinic on the island, but that's it. So getting to the mainland, uh, getting over to uh, getting over to Honolulu, you had to either take a plane, which leaves like every hour, or you can take a boat, and the boat takes like 4 or 5 hours. So if you really have an emergency there, it's not a good place to be. It really isn't. And the prices on in Honolulu are outrageous. I mean, I think they rent apartments by the square inch. It's like I saw studio apartments that were $4,000 a month, a studio, probably maybe 800 square feet for $4,000. Not good. Anyway, Scott, I'm just thinking about this. You drive everywhere in the van. I don't think you'd like that part. You like to drive around. You like to be free. I mean, you drive up to Georgia and you go into places, but the truth of the matter is, you ain't driving over to Hawaii and back. And if you had your van shipped over, it cost you a lot of money. Hey, guess what? You'd be coming back anyway. You were on Oahu and you rented a beach house for 1 week for $10,000. Yeah, I don't doubt that. And I'm sure you didn't go over and tag or use spray paint on Obama's house. He has Secret Service living there all the time. I'm not really a yeah, there is nowhere to go on Hawaii. You're stuck on the island. That's right. You are. And if you don't, you better live with it because what is there is there. It's crazy. But anyway, getting back to Mr. Ruth or Ralph, everyone describe him. I don't think he's gonna sue me for mispronouncing his name. When he's actually sentenced, it's going to be very interesting. I don't doubt it, Scott. You say there's homeless people living on the beaches there, and it was dirty and crowded. Yeah, but don't forget, it is completely changed from when I was there. Um, it's really heavy Democrat, and if you look at the history of it, that's where Barack Obama's grandparents lived, and they also were very I wouldn't say they were liberal. They were Communist Party. They belonged to the Communist Party. They're not even part of the Democratic Party, or they weren't. And his mother wasn't either. Very strange. Their politics there are very, very different. They don't believe in the same things we believe. They're almost like another country. And I was a little disappointed when I was there. Yes, it's much worse than California, but it's isolated. It's isolated. California is kind of intermingled where there's all different kinds of opinions and politics. You do have a few Republicans in California, but you don't out there for sure. It's kind of strange out there. So I think it's the perfect place for a prison. Send them out to Hawaii, build a prison out there. Great for the economy. I think they're anti-prison though. Hawaiian people, or people that live there, residents. So when Mr. Routh, Ryan Routh, goes away, I really think that they're holding him in on Good Club Road and at the Palm Beach County Jail right now. There's a courthouse there. There's quite a few things there. But there's another courthouse downtown where he was tried. It's not going to work out well for him at all. Nobody can be responsible for their family members. And I would kind of guess that after I listened to his daughter, his son didn't have anything to say to the news media. He wanted to stay away from the cameras and pictures. He didn't even want a still picture taken up. He didn't let anybody get near him. He was looking at his car when I saw a picture of his back, and they said that's his son. So, kind of rough. Tim Hunt. Was there any output influence in Hawaii? Zero. None. None at all. There isn't a lot of money there. I mean, there is some money there, but it's either you're rich or you're poor. In between, no. It just doesn't happen. He might have taken too many COVID boosters. You're welcome, Tim. You're welcome. I didn't find it to be an ideal place at all. But then again, Mr. Routh, whatever his name is, he didn't believe it was an ideal place either. He didn't stay there too long. Came back. I'm still trying to figure out where he got the stolen firearm from. We may never know. It was a beautiful semi-automatic rifle. I didn't put any pictures of it up because I was concerned that YouTube might do something to my channel. We are talking about a touchy subject, and the truth of the matter is I don't know how to actually approach some of these subjects. They're facts, they're truth, but I don't know how many of you folks were aware of it and how many folks were not aware of it. Anyway, I think we covered everything I wanted to cover. I want to thank everybody. Scott, yes, it was an SKS, and you have one of those. Okay. I did not to really pick on you, Scott, but just maybe in a couple words, tell me what you need an SKS for. A 7.62 rifle that is made to kill people. That's the design of it. It was made to kill people. Most people don't even like to hunt with them. And I don't know if you're going deer hunting this year or not. Actually, Mr. Routh, Ryan Routh, was not working for anyone. He wasn't even employed at the time. He hadn't been for years. He was trying to get a job as a combat soldier over in the Ukraine, and they turned him down, so he was mentally unstable. Two of the photographs, I didn't post them, but two of the photographs that I have of him, he has rather enlarged breasts. They're not normal for a man. And he appears to be somewhat transgender, even though he has two children. Kind of weird. But then again, Ken Hansen had two sons. And he was weird too. So, folks, unless we have any questions, Scott, you're not answering about your SKS. Unless we have any questions, maybe it's time that I should say goodbye to you folks. And I want to thank you very much for coming by. I really appreciate it. You're all wonderful people. Nobody has any questions. Okay. Well, smooth operator. Great show as always. It was kind of short, but it's here. Thank you, Christina. Thank you. God bless you all. And this is where we met. Out.
The combination of the videotapes and Ouimet's testimony resulted in the conviction of two men on extortion charges. One of them was Frank Schweiz, known in syndicate circles as the German, a feared mob terrorist and a suspect in a number of gangland murders.
He was described to me by other outfit individuals as the most feared hitman. And as he said to me, my reputation precedes me, son.